Gregory, life sucks, then you kick the bucket. I'm okay with that. So you gotta try and be happy. You'll never be wealthier than being happy. I think when it's your time to go, it'll be easier to go if you live a happy life. That's what I think. I spent a lot of time with my grandpa before he kicked the bucket. And he used to always try and tell me about responsibilities and whatnot. I'd be like, one day they're going to call my number. I'd be like, Grandpa, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me you're going to outlive me. I don't want to hear that. He's like 92. Super smart. He only had a 7th grade education, but he grew up in a time to where that's really all you needed. He served merchant marines. He was a boxer in the Marines for a while. Owned like 3 or 4 businesses. Kicked the bucket as a millionaire, which nobody really knew that. Just me, because we're having guy talk, hanging out, me and Grandpa. And he used to tell me all the time, like, I'd be upset. I used to be so upset. I used to be a rageaholic when I was about 15, 16 years old. Just couldn't help it. Just an angry young person. And he used to always tell me, like, I don't know why you care so much. And I'd be caring about stupid things, people bullying me at school, not having the coolest shoes, not, one thing or another, dumb stuff that teenagers worry about. He used to always tell me about, do stuff for you. Be happy about you. No one else is going to make you happy. You got to make yourself happy. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Go be happy. And that's how he lived his life. He was divorced and lived alone. He had a house in Florida, had a house in Niles, had a house in Hamlin out in Ludington. Like I said, owned businesses and all that stuff. And when he passed away, he owned tons of stuff. But what he cared about was things going his way. And it wasn't in a selfish kind of way. It was in a this makes him happy kind of way. And when it came down to the last year he was around, that's all that mattered. He was like, I have this because this makes me happy. I do things this way because it makes me happy. And I'm like, Grandpa, but what about everybody else? He's like, it's mine. What do I care about everybody else? And I'm like, I guess. And he wasn't sickly or anything like that. He just died of old age. It happened. He had an aneurysm or something like that. And that's what ended up getting him. But after he passed and I see how everybody reacted versus how he was about everything, he was quiet and calm and calculated and wise, and it took a lot to get him stirred up. But then I look at everybody down in Niles and stuff where a lot of my other family lives, and they're loud and passionate and screaming and squawking about everything. He's like, you don't have to be like that. You can just worry about yourself. And then I see the difference between how life is lived now that it's been some years. My grandpa passed away like 5-6 years ago. And I feel the same way. You'll never be wealthier than being happy. My grandpa cared way more about feeding us a cheeseburger when we were hungry because that made him happy, way more than having $2 million in investments. Never talked about money. He just talked about being healthy and being happy. And that's all he cared about. And like I said, nobody even knew he had money in the bank. I mean, he looked well off. He had clean clothes and a nice truck and some property and stuff like that. But nobody knew how well off he was other than me. And he just, year after year, poured that into me. And now I do that to you guys. When you have time, go play. Go do something you enjoy. Hang out with your kids, because making $1 is important. It's real important to the government. But you'll never be wealthier than being happy. You got to do stuff for you. Make sure you're happy, because one day God's going to call your number. And whether you're ready or not, it's going to be time to go. You ain't going to be thinking about that money. You're not going to be like, well, if I'd have made a couple extra bucks, I'd have been all right. Nah, you got to worry about being happy. Do things you love. Love yourself. We've been taught to be like, that selfish is bad. But you'll never be happy if you don't love yourself. Now, you don't have to cut everybody else off and be a selfish asshole, but you gotta look at yourself a little bit in order to be happy. You got to analyze yourself. What's it going to take for you to be happy? And then go achieve those goals. To me, that's what matters in life. Anyways, that's my TED Talk. I don't know why I do that. That's probably why everybody unsubscribes. That's all right. I think it's important. I think it's important that you guys need to know. You got to care about yourself. I care about you guys.